From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
New data reveals just how much fentanyl is coming into our state as drug task force seizures have doubled since last year. But that may not be the most alarming part of the story. We'll have it all right off the top.
I'm Joe St. George in Washington. What could our nation's leaders do this year that may address immigration and border security? What might former President Donald Trump or President Joe Biden do next year if they're reelected in November? We explain.
This is the Black's Ford fishing access site on the Madison River, and coming up this summer, hundreds of people will be using it every day, and very few of them will be fishing. I'm Chet Lehman. Coming up this week, we talk with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks about a regulation that went into effect last year that will help pay for maintenance on places like this and all fishing access sites across the state by all users, not just anglers.
And when I say downward dog, well, you might think of yoga, and you'd be right, but some other people thought of a unique combination for a good cause. We're going to introduce you to these res dogs as you breathe in and out. Alrighty, it is 6:31 on this Monday morning. Jane McDonald and Matt Elwell with you. Well, it sure feels like it's bright and early because of daylight savings time, but it's 6:30. Hope everybody woke up a little bit easier than I did this morning.
It was a rough start.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I think the positives right now is once you get out of bed and you get out and you step outside, you realize it's not bad at all.
No, and the nice thing is that sun is going to be out a little bit longer.
Yeah,
so
especially for the morning. We'll see quite a bit of sunshine. Then the clouds are rolling in, but our daylight has been able to stretch into our evening.
I like it.
Yeah. Temperatures this morning into the 30s for most of us, 40 in Ennis and Livingston, 23, one of the coolest temperatures out toward West Yellowstone as we start the day. Again, as I mentioned, the clouds on the increase as we go into the afternoon. Not much to worry about for today. As you get into your Tuesday and Wednesday, we do see a little shift. Daytime highs today into the 40s. Remember that these temperatures are warming things up, and when we start seeing some snow and moisture, that's probably going to melt a lot of this here pretty quickly. I'm going to talk more about the impacts and what to expect in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Well, new data reveals just how much fentanyl is coming into our state as drug task force seizures have doubled since last year. But the alarming part of this, how much are agents missing? Our Andrea Lutz takes us inside the evidence room of the Montana Department of Criminal Investigations to see it all firsthand.
The numbers are alarming, even keeping our state leaders up at night. Just last year, Montana drug agents seized 400,000 doses of fentanyl on our Montana highways. But perhaps the most alarming number is this one, 80. That's how many people have died from fentanyl overdose.
Laid about on this table inside the Billings Department of Criminal Investigations, drugs seized on our Montana highways and roads.
We're seeing bigger seizures, more seizures.
Drugs, pills, and guns. DC's regional agent in charge, Cameron Pavlicek, has never seen drug seizures of this size in his entire career.
Larger loads, across the board, more cases, more suspects. Everything has increased dramatically.
New numbers are out, and they're flat out scary. Montana's drug agents working our highways intercepted double the number of fentanyl doses from last year. Agent Pavlicek says the secret's out. Montana's a hot spot for the cartels to make money.
A fentanyl pill in Washington is anywhere from $1 to $3 a pill, and that pill is worth 15 to 20 here in Billings, and actually can be worth much more than that the further rural communities that you get into.
It's an issue that keeps Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen up at night.
I would say that every state in this country is now a border state.
So Montana set out to intensify its drug defenses. Lawmakers funding more narcotics agents and criminal investigators through the state's most recent budget.
We've had to get educated on fentanyl really quickly. We're happy with these numbers in that, we're taking a lot of fentanyl off the streets and off the highways and hopefully disrupting activities. But as you said, how much have we missed? And that's the number that keeps me up at night.
So the challenge still remains.
The vast majority of the fentanyl that we're seizing has an origination in Mexico. And we are over inundated with criminals across the state.
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
And in an interesting twist in the drug trade, DCI agents also say they're seeing a resurgence of cocaine coming into the state. Still, fentanyl remains the largest concern, making traffickers the most money. Now, on the national scene, the number of migrants attempting to enter the United States is expected to continue to increase this month after record numbers last year. Border Patrol encountered nearly 2.5 million migrants in fiscal year 2023. That's a record. But that's the problem. What are the solutions? Scripps News' Joe St. George with a look at where President Biden and former President Trump differ when it comes to policy, differences that could impact how you vote in November.
In 2024, the border matters. But unlike past border issues, this election year is not about redefining boundaries. It's about who's allowed in, who is kept out, and what about the people who are already here? Gallup asked Americans in February, what do you think is the most important problem facing the country today? 28% said immigration. It was number one. Unlike past elections where candidates may have limited records on the issue, this year the differences between the leading candidates are well documented.
I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country.
They want open borders, and open borders are going to destroy our country.
Border question number one, what to do with people seeking asylum at the southern border. Remember, federal law permits asylum to people facing persecution. What happens before or after is where the policy comes in. Former President Trump enacted a Remain in Mexico policy while in office, which instructed thousands of asylum-seeking migrants at the southern border to wait in Mexico while they await immigration hearings. President Joe Biden canceled Remain in Mexico and has called it inhumane in the past. Human Rights First reports that when the policy was in place, there was at least 1,544 publicly reported cases of kidnapping, murder, torture, and rape, and other violent attacks against people returned to Mexico. Border question number two, how to prevent migrants from seeking asylum at the southern border in the first place. President Biden has encouraged the use of a mobile app to help make the asylum-seeking process more orderly. He instructed Vice President Kamala Harris to work with private companies to improve economic conditions in Central America. Former President Trump, when he was in office, worked to restrict asylum seekers from wanting to come here too. He issued travel bans and raised the threshold for what conditions would qualify for asylum, and then enacted a zero-tolerance policy for those who attempted to enter the U.S. illegally. An Inspector General report from 2021 found that that policy resulted in over 3,000 children being separated from their parents. Finally, border question number three, how to improve physical security along the southern border and what to do with the migrants already here. Former President Trump built over 450 miles of the border wall when he was in office, and he wants to build more. President Biden has been largely critical of that, pushing for billions of dollars worth of border investments instead. Former President Trump wants the largest deportation task force ever assembled if he's elected. Meanwhile, the Biden administration deported 142,000 last year and has spoke of the need to find a pathway to citizenship for some in the past. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
Now a little bit closer to home, the new licensing year for the Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife and Parks brings a new requirement for anyone recreating on state lands this year. This week in Fish and Wildlife, MTN's Chet Lehman tells us that maintaining these sites is now being shared expense by all users.
March 1st marked the beginning of the new licensing year for the Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife and Parks. It also marked the beginning of year 2 of a requirement that says all people over the age of 12 using fishing access sites, wildlife management areas, or other DNRC land in the state of Montana buy a conservation license to help pay for maintenance.
What this does is it generates funding for the maintenance, upkeep, and care of these facilities that see really a lot of use throughout the year.
That requirement went in last year. Up to that point, the only funds available for upkeep came from those who bought hunting and fishing licenses. Fairly small group of the actual population who use these sites on a yearly basis.
We're seeing all kinds of recreation at these state sites. Anything from floating and boating to picnicking and all these things that do have take a toll on the maintenance depending on how many people come in and use these sites.
FWP has made meeting this requirement pretty simple and inexpensive. If you're getting a hunting or fishing license, you're already taking care of this requirement. If you don't participate in either of those activities, but still plan to use these lands, It's a simple procedure you can complete on your phone.
Really easy to be able to obtain that license. You could go online to our website at fwp.mt.gov. You click on the Buy and Apply link, and you'll be able to get a conservation license from your phone, from your house, or if you want to come in and talk to us, you can come down to the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks office in Bozeman.
Until the end of February next year, and again is a requirement for anyone over the age of 12 using any of these state lands for any activity. This week, sitting on a picnic table at the Cameron Bridge Fishing Access Site near Belgrade with my valid conservation license, Chet Lehman, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Chet. Now, nothing says relaxation like some yoga and puppies. MTN's Haley Monaco shows us this unique combination, all for a good cause.
What's better than a relaxing yoga class? A yoga class that's filled with puppies and is for a good cause. There was nothing out of the ordinary here. A peaceful yoga class that quickly turned into a furry frenzy when they let the dogs out.
It's therapy. It really is.
The foster home-based nonprofit Res Dog Rescue recently held a puppy yoga class, a cute, chaotic, and charitable course.
It's just a way to get people out to know, to learn about us, to socialize the puppies, and of course fundraiser. Just a good way to just make a couple extra bucks.
With 50 people and many puppies, the room was full of smiles and wagging tails.
It was so much fun. Obviously pet puppies more than did yoga.
Res Dog Rescue's mission is to help stray dogs on reservations. They spay and neuter dogs, leave food out for strays, and rescue puppies and injured dogs.
This is Wink. He's one of the ones we brought in the last couple litters, and he had his eye was bulging out, and so we had to remove it.
As the weather warms up, saving pups like Wink will surge. They currently have around 50 dogs in their care and are in need of more foster homes.
We do what we can.
By the end of the class, hearts were full and pups dozed off, dreaming of the families who would adopt them and the other dogs within the rescue.
We have adults that have been with us for over a year, and they need homes too.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
All right, thank you very much, Haley. 6:42 now. We're going to take a short break here on Montana This Morning. But when we come back, if you're thinking about freshening up your home, well, the first mistake to avoid is hiring the wrong contractor. So we have some tips so you don't waste your money.
I'm John Matteries with news on how to hire a home contractor who will do a good job at a good price and some red flags to avoid. Coming up.